And the state of play, we one match down, and that was a 5-star performance from Chelsea in their second London derby in a row, their second of 4 to start the season. The big one at lunchtime on Saturday, Manchester City at home against Tottenham Hotspur. A host of games kicking off at 3 p.m. before Arsenal and Leeds bring us home for Saturday's action. On Sunday, there is a first ever match at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, Everton at home in the new era against Brighton, and then Fulham, Man United to round out the action on Sunday. One game to come on Monday, and isn't it a cracker? Newcastle versus Liverpool. That is an 8 p.m. kickoff at UK time. I wonder how long before they'll mention Alexander Isak's name. We have had one game, though. We're one game down in match week 2 of the Premier League, and what a game the players did, and there are celebrations. Those are the scenes that you're seeing. It's a small portion of the fans in the stadium. Not the case for the West Ham fans, though. A horrible night for them. Yeah, it was horrible. Started so well, though. Obviously, with Paqueta's goal, started well. That's how you want to start. It's sort of like reaction from the weekend. Conceded 3 goals against Sunderland, losing in that manner. And then after that, to be honest, it was similar to Sunderland. They conceded 1, and Dan Tools. It was a horrible night. To concede 5 goals at home. In a London derby. You can lose football matches, but it's the manner in which they lose the football matches. And you see the goals avoidable, no fight. Really disappointing. Joe, Jermaine mentioned that it started so well for them with that cracker from Paqueta. Let's go through it, and just your thoughts on his technique.
Listen, it could have been a better start for West Ham. He's been AWOL for a while now at West Ham. He's had these troubles, but this is him. This is the Paqueta we see 2 years ago that was driving the David Moyes team to win the Conference League. He was absolutely outstanding. He just picks the ball up, just direct, touch, opens up for him. Caicedo tries to read him that he's going to play it inside. But once he decides to shoot, it's just about body shape and the strike, and it is as sweet as a strike you hit. Nearly bursts the side netting. Fantastic strike. That's what we watch football for.
Goalkeeping position?
Yeah, goalkeeper could have done better. When I say better, I mean like his position, but it's such a clean strike. It's one of those, when a strike, as soon as it leaves your foot, you just know.
It's a little jump.
And even from this angle, you can see the movement on the ball here. It just sort of like moves, and it generates so much power. But that's the Paqueta that you want to see. Like Joe said, when he's on it, he's a top player.
It was exactly the start they needed. That lead didn't last too long, though, just 9 minutes before Chelsea were level.
And again, that's the problems in a nutshell at West Ham. You go ahead, you defend a set piece. The trouble with this last week up at Sunderland, Cucurella just drops into that midfield, into that near post position. Paqueta, I think, he's a bit bamboozled because he's had to go back into that position. I think if Cucurella starts in that position, I think he takes a better position. He leans over from the side, he doesn't get it. But what he does, he's in there, he's backing off. He doesn't know when Cucurella's going to stop. Then when he does stop, he's pinned him, Cucurella, and he can't move. It's a wonderful flick by him. And then João Pedro, he does the rest. He's just in the right place, and it's a decent finish. But they was clearly targeting that, Chelsea, throughout. They were dropping that ball, Neto or Enzo, into the near post every single time. And I think after last weekend's, West Ham were terrible from dealing with crosses and set pieces. You'd think they've been working on that all week, and don't mess. Just be good at that. Be good at that, and they wasn't tonight.
Would be incredibly disappointing because post-match the comments from Potter were all about we didn't defend our box, we didn't do well with those kinds of balls. In the build-up, we're talking about how they lined up with 5. You talked about the importance of the defence tonight.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's the hardest thing to do in football, but it's the easiest thing to coach, right? Because everything's there. The plan, the positioning. But we're going to see Wan-Bissaka for the second and the third goal having a problem, right? And it's got to come with a mindset and a determination to defend. And that's the worrying thing for me looking at that West Ham team, Jay, is because I looked at that, and after the first weekend, if that game would have finished 2-1, I don't think we were sitting here thinking, I'm worried. I think Chelsea are a better team than West Ham at the moment. But it's the manner in which they defended, the lack of concentrations. They just was off it from the start.
Let's look at the goal that makes it 2-1 to Chelsea. And Paqueta thought he should have had a foul in the build-up. Do you agree?
Not really, to be honest. I think you just got to get on with it. That old saying, you've got to play to the whistle. And after that, to be fair, I think if you look at Wan-Bissaka's position there, for an experienced player, he doesn't really scan Neto, he doesn't see him there. I'm even looking here, he's not seeing him. Then all of a sudden now, it looks like he looks and that he sees him there. So then you think, okay, can you get back into position? And then, for me, it's just not enough urgency. There's a massive gap. And then it's an easy finish. A hard finish, but then it's an easy finish. Just got to beat the goalkeeper. But that's terrible defending.
Yeah. I mean, from Wan-Bissaka's perspective, once you get in there, finish the job off. Like it's almost like you lull it. You're just hoping. You can never hope that the ball doesn't go to the defender. You've got to be in your mind, what if it goes in, and what if it goes in there, what if it goes in there, constantly on alert all the time. And he just switched off and he cost his team.
Before halftime, there was one more goal from Chelsea, and it was Enzo to make it 3-1. As I mentioned, Stevao in the build-up, he's the one who gets the assist for this. A huge night for him, coming into for Cole Palmer, and then becoming the youngest creator for Chelsea in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. You know what I like? Just to change the speed. It's so difficult to defend it. You know, when you've got players driving in the box like that, and then, you know, not only that as well, you know, getting there and picking the right pass, and again, Wan-Bissaka, you know, on the outside looking in, all fullbacks should be on the inside, you know, protecting the goal and looking out to give yourself a chance to defend it. But, you know, another good goal, and after that, you know, Chelsea is just in second gear.
Yeah, well, we said the next goal would be crucial. The next goal in the second half, it did actually come for Chelsea once again for 4-1.
Yeah, you want a response, and the one thing you nail down these type of situations. The goalie flaps it. It's like it's hard to defend, really. You know, again, they're doing that. They're feinting on the near post. Liam Delap does well there. What Liam Delap does well there is he takes the goalkeeper's eye, and whether that's Hermanson, then he takes his eye off the ball. It's actually a lovely finish from Caicedo to flick at it and get it in.
It's strange though, because that was my job, to stand on a goalkeeper, and I just felt like every time I did it, you know, the goalkeeper would say to someone, basically, come and move him out of the way, because I need to come and punch or catch or whatever it is. It's just no communication. You know, I think for a goalkeeper, you got to dominate that position. You know, if you come and punch heads, you got to come and punch heads. But you know, when you come out and you're flapping and you can see the goal like that. When the side's struggling anyway, it's difficult.
Yeah, great bow for him to mark his 100th Chelsea appearance with the goal for Moises Caicedo. Remarkable that we've had 5 goals from Chelsea and 5 different goal scorers, because Chalobah got in on the action as well.
Yeah. Another unsung hero at the club, Chalobah. He's come through the academy. Again, another set piece, goalkeeper flapping. He just reacts well. Like, I look at this now, right? Again, the lapse on the goalie. He's fainted into an area, flat. Now watch the West Ham players' body shapes. They're queuing up. It could have dropped to Tosin. It could have dropped to Liam Delap. Like, look, not strong enough on that occasion. Queuing up. Which one of you wants to score, chaps? Like, the more you look at it, the worse it gets from a West Ham perspective. It's hard when you do this job and you got a team and I can see all the problems unfolding in front of you when you watch it, and it's just it's a difficult time for the club. It really is.
You're trying to look for the positives, and you think, what's the positives? You can lose, and I think they're probably the only positive, obviously, Cole Palmer coming back. Callum Wilson looks sharp. I think when he gets up to speed, you know, he was unlucky with the header. Potts, the young lad. They're the only positives, really. But, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we're just looking there at the biggest wins for Chelsea over West Ham, and this one tonight has shot up to second on that list. So a remarkable night for Chelsea. But as you mentioned, on the other side, then there is the West Ham and everything that went wrong for them. It started so well. They had a chance. In fact, they thought they were 2-1 up with Fulkrug. But from then onwards, the mistakes just cost too much. What does Potter say to the team now? What could he be saying in the dressing room?
I think it's a difficult conversations. A lot of times, you know, managers, he might not say anything, you know, I'm sure you'd have a meeting, you know, they might be off to mind, you'd have a meeting and sort of like go through, you know, what you've done wrong, you know, the goals that you've conceded. But it's disappointing, because like I said, you know, when there's ways that you lose football matches, to concede 5 goals, especially in a game like this. You know, it's always been a big game against Chelsea. You know, you've let your fans down, you let the club down, but, you know, you'd definitely be looking for a reaction.
Looking at those fans there, this is the time of the season when fans, the optimism is at an all-time high. It's a clean slate. Your hope is still really high. But those West Ham fans have gone there for the first home game of the season, and they've seen their side battered tonight.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I think they would have wanted bigger names to come through the door. You know, like, I think West Ham, they climbed the mountain when they won the Conference League and they got to the Europa League semi-final, and it was some beautiful nights at the club. And then where are you going to go? The German director of football come in Steiden with this big reputation. He wasted a lot of money. You can only look at it one way. Then all of a sudden it's sort of like that momentum's then stopped. Then what did the club do? Lopetegui comes in, which I thought was a strange appointment in itself, because it looked at his reputation, his record. There was nothing in it that made me think, if you're going to get a big name, go and get a really big name. He was sort of half a big name. You know, he'd been at Real Madrid in Spain, but hadn't really done anything. And then Graham Potter's coming in and he's trying to he's trying. He's a very. I feel for him because it's a difficult situation. It's a broken squad who are there, and I think the club is at a crossroads now where they'll be thinking, right, where do we go now? Do we stick or twist with Graham Potter? I like Graham Potter. I think he's a very talented coach. I just know I just know from the club playing at the club, JD. It's like they won't have liked what they've seen in terms of the energy, the enthusiasm and the drive. And I think once that goes and that anger comes into, it's very difficult to turn it round. You have to be a brave, they need to sign brave footballers now before the window to drag that club, or it's going to be a long season. And by the way, I think all the promoted clubs are better than last year. So West Ham could be in it's 2 games in, but you could be looking at that end of the table rather than a bit further up.
And at home as well, that's just 2 home wins in the Premier League in 10 matches for West Ham under Graham Potter. Lots of sad faces out at the London Stadium. One man who will be absolutely delighted, though, is Enzo Maresca. His side have won their first game of the season, and they've done so by 5-1. Let's find out his reaction.
Well, Enzo, first of all, congratulations. But it was a night that started in very interesting fashion for you. Even before kick-off, Cole Palmer comes off, you have to make the change, then you find yourselves a goal behind. How difficult was the opening moments of this game tonight for you?
Yeah, quite difficult. As you said, Cole problem during the warm-up, and then we conceded a goal. But I think the reaction was very good. We continued to play in the way we planned the game, and at the end, I think we deserve to win the game.
Before we come to that reaction, can we just clear up the Cole situation? You kindly spoke to us before and said it was precautionary. Are you convinced it's no more than just that this evening?
You mean the goal we conceded?
No, sorry, Cole not taking part.
Cole.
You said it was precautionary.
In the last 4 or 5 days, it was not 100%. And tonight, during the warm-up, he felt again something. So we prefer don't start with him, don't take any risk, or at least don't get worse. And we'll see in the next hours.
Let's get to that reaction to you going a goal behind. How impressive was it from a coach's point of view?
Yeah, for sure it was impressive, but it's what I expected in terms of we conceded after 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so there are still 90 minutes to go, an entire game, so there is plenty of time to recover the game, to come back on the game. And I think the most important thing is that the players, they continue with the plan, and at the end we won the game.
You said after the Crystal Palace game there were many things you felt you could do better. Did you see that tonight, the things that you could do better and do well?
Yeah, but even tonight I think we could do many things better. After 3-4 goals, we can manage better the ball. We can make many passes, keep the ball, and we were trying to attack again to score more goals. Sometimes if you make passes, then the action, the chance arrive. But if you force, sometimes doesn't arrive. But for sure we can do things better, but we improve compared to Palace.
There's been a lot of talk ahead of this game about the excitement around Estevao, just 18 years of age. How big an impression has he made tonight in that performance here?
Yeah, he has to adapt. The goal we conceded comes from, he tried to make a flick in the middle of the pitch. Then we conceded another transition for the same reason. But he needs to adapt. It's 07. It's very young. It's a fantastic player, and we are very happy with him.